Make some noise for Anish Mitra, everybody. Let him go.
Thank you. Keep it going for your host. Keep it going for Sheila. What's up? Like she said, my name is Anish. I'm Indian American. Okay, this is the usual reaction. Thank you. I know, it's weird. I don't really look the part, right? I have no facial hair. I look like I was born maybe a few weeks ago. I tell people I'm Indian, I get the same looks I'm getting now. They just don't believe me. They're like, oh my God, what part of India is Mexico in? Crazy. But my parents are both from India. They're from Calcutta. I can see a lot of people from Calcutta in the house tonight. Calcutta, India, it's a small city in India, about 17 million people. Very far away. My parents had an arranged marriage. Do we know what that is here? I see a lot of white people, I'm not sure. An arranged marriage, sir, is when you don't get to choose the person you end up divorcing. That's how that works. But they were great. They moved to this country, moved to Queens. We got Queens in the house. Anybody live in Queens? Nice, good. It's getting gentrified already. Perfect. Queens was a fun place to grow up. I was born in Queens. I grew up in Flushing. It was cool. There were a lot of brown people in Queens, a lot of people that looked like me. Then my parents moved to the suburbs when I was 8 years old, and I became the only Hispanic in my community. A lot of white people, a lot of white people. I had an interesting upbringing. I had very strict parents. A lot of my friends growing up in Long Island, they played sports. They were obsessed with the NBA, the MLB, the NFL. My mom made sure that I was obsessed with the SAT. It's my primary occupation. I treated that like a sport, believe it or not. Every day I would have to practice. Every single day I'd get home from school, do homework, and I'd practice. My mom would be like, you better practice. You better practice. I found out the hard way, the SAT is the only sport in America where you can get injured if you don't practice. I went to college and I graduated. Anyone else make that mistake? You can clap if you have debt. A lot of you do look rich though. College was an interesting time. When I was a sophomore in college, I went up to my mom and I was like, Mom, I think I'm going to major in economics. And my mom looked at me and she was like, oh my God, that's great. What kind of medicine is that again? I haven't heard of that one. College was a fun time. I met a lot of really cool, interesting people in college. I went to a place called Brown University. Nice, good, we got some alums in the building. Honestly though, it should have been called Beige University. It wasn't a lot of brown people there, but it was a fun place. I met a lot of cool people. I met a lot of international students. And I kind of saw firsthand how hard it really is to assimilate in this country. I had this one friend who was literally from India. And he had a really, really thick accent. He had never been in the country before. But after 4 years, his math and science scores were so low that he was a real American. He did it. But growing up was fun. I lived in New York City. I work in New York City. I went to high school as well in New York City. Anyone else kind of spent those years in New York City? High school was a weird time. I realized the hard way in my adult life that I'm not going to use anything I learned in high school. I work at a bank, and I've never, ever, ever, ever been in a situation where my boss called me into his office and was like, Anish, we have a crisis. Are these triangles congruent? I'm looking at these for hours, I don't know. Is this a parallelogram? I can't tell. It never happens, right? I have a couple friends that are doctors. You have to go to school for 80 years to be a doctor, right? I've never heard a single story of we were gonna lose the patient, but Ahmed here figured out that the area of the circle was 2 pi. What a genius. I have a couple friends that are teachers. I always ask them, look, what do you guys actually talk about in these meetings when you're trying to figure out what to teach people, right? I imagine someone's like, you know, I think we should teach them how to do their taxes. And someone else is like, no, Harold, they need to learn how to find the small angle in a right triangle. That'll be really helpful. But, you know, I've been dating a little bit. My friends are dating. I have a friend who just got engaged to his girlfriend after dating for 10 years. Yeah, that's right. It took him 10 years to make a mistake. Okay? It's like voting for George Bush now. That's not even the worst part. The worst part is he goes on Facebook and he's all excited about it, right? He's like so excited. He's like, oh my God. She said yes. She said yes. Like, buddy, after 10 years, she's probably saying, okay. My name is Anish K. Thank you guys so much. You've been great. Keep it going for TV, your host.
Anish Mitra, you guys.